You take your car to the shop for an oil change, the mechanic looks at the dipstick, makes this face like he just saw a ghost, and tells you your engine desperately needs a flush. Then he slaps you with an extra $200. You leave there not knowing if you got taken care of or just got taken for a ride. And here's the kicker. Everyone you ask has a different version of this story. Your old man says he always changed oil every 3,000 miles and never had a problem. Your brother-in-law says that's old school BS. That modern oil can easily handle 7,000. The mechanic down the street swears you gotta change it every 6 months, even if the car's only done 500 miles. And there you are, stuck in the middle of this information war, not knowing who to trust. Today, I'm gonna explain how oil changes really work. No fear-mongering, no BS, and especially no lies. If you've ever wondered whether they upsold you or if you skipped something important, smash that like button right now and stick with me till the end, because I'm gonna teach you the right questions to ask and how not to get scammed. Oil changes seem simple, but they've turned into a minefield of conflicting information. And the worst part, people are making bank off this confusion. So let's cut to the chase. No BS. First question that drives everyone nuts. So is oil change based on time or mileage? Because if you ask 10 people, you'll get 11 different answers. The technically correct answer is both. You change by time or mileage, whichever comes first. And this isn't some mechanic scam. It's right there in your owner's manual. Problem is, most people never even crack that manual open, so they think it's all talk. Let me break down why both criteria exist. Motor oil has 3 main jobs. Lubricate the parts, so there's no friction. Cool the engine, because that thing gets hot as hell. And clean up all the gunk that accumulates weejits so far. Now here's the kicker. Oil loses these properties in 2 ways. First, through use. The more you drive, the more it works, the more it breaks down. It's like running shoes, the more you use them, the more they lose their cushion. But there's a second way that a lot of people ignore. Oil ages, even sitting still. You heard that right? If your car sits in the garage for 6 months without moving, that oil's in there aging. It absorbs moisture from the air, oxidizes. The additives break down over time. It's pure chemistry. Can't escape it. That's why the manual always gives 2 timelines, time and mileage. If you're someone who barely drives like 2,000 miles a year because you only use the car on weekends, time's gonna win. So you'll change oil every 6 months or a year, depending on what the manufacturer recommends. But if you're an Uber driver logging 300 miles a week, mileage wins. Then you change every 5,000, 7,000, whatever's in the manual. And here's a direct message. Ignore the manual at your own risk. Some folks think they know better than the automaker's engineers. Spoiler alert, they don't. The manufacturer tested that engine in the lab, on the track, in extreme conditions. They know the limits of the oil they specified. If it says 7,000 miles or 1 year, it's because it can handle that. If it says 5,000 or 6 months, it's because it can't handle more. Drop a comment below. Do you follow your car's manual or just wing it? I want to know how many people actually read that booklet in the glove box. Second, major confusion. Oil got dark. Quick. Is it toast? Some people change their oil, drive 200 miles, check the dipstick and see the oil kind of dark. Then they think, they ripped me off, put in used oil, or worse, my engine's shot. Hold up. Take a breath. Let me explain something most people don't know. Fresh oil getting dark quickly isn't just normal. It's actually a sign it's doing its job, right? Quality oil has detergents and dispersants in the formula. These chemicals have a very specific function: dissolve and suspend the crud stuck in your engine. When you put fresh oil in an engine that's already got some miles, it starts cleaning up the residue, the old oil left behind. And yeah, it gets dark. That's its job. Now, there's a difference between getting dark and turning pitch black. Oil that's slightly dark after a few hundred miles is normal. Oil that's completely black, thick, with a funky smell after a short time, that's a red flag. Could be burning oil, could be fuel leaking into the crankcase, could be the engine's really dirty. So how do you tell if it's normal or not? First, smell. Good oil doesn't smell strongly of burning or gas. Second, consistency. Good oil flows thin. If it's looking like thick honey, there's a problem. Third, timing. If it got dark after 300 miles in a well-maintained engine, you're fine. If it turned black after 60 miles, investigate. And here's a golden tip I almost never hear anyone mention. The color of the oil matters less than you think. You know what matters more. The state of the oil filter? But I'll explain that in a sec. Stay with me. If you're digging this content and learning stuff nobody ever explained to you before, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell. Got way more content like this coming, and you won't want to miss it. Third classic question. Does topping off oil replace changing it? This one's good. Some folks think adding oil to bring up the level is the same as changing it. It's not. Not even close. Let me give you a simple analogy. Topping off oil is like pouring clean water into a glass of dirty water. You diluted the dirt, but you didn't get rid of it. Changing oil is dumping it all out and starting fresh. When you top off the oil, you're just replacing volume. The old oil's still in there, with all the contaminants, with all the degraded additives, with all the accumulated crud. The fresh oil you added helps a little, but it gets contaminated fast. It's like putting clean clothes in a drawer full of dirty laundry. In a few hours, it all smells the same. Changing the oil means draining everything, pulling the old filter, putting in fresh oil, and a new filter. That's when you actually renew the system. Topping off only fixes the level, not the quality. And engines don't care about quantity. They care about the quality of the oil circulating in there. So if a mechanic says you can just top it off because the level's low, watch out. Ask when the last full change was. If it's past due, topping off won't cut it. You gotta change everything. Now let's talk about something almost nobody pays attention to, but it's more important than the color of your oil. The oil filter. The oil filter has a super simple job. Catch the solid particles circulating with the oil. Every engine generates microscopic bits of metal, carbon, dirt that comes in through the intake. The filter grabs these particles and keeps the oil flowing clean. But filters have limits. They're not eternal. As it saturates, it loses efficiency. And when it's completely saturated, something happens that most people don't know. It goes into bypass mode. That's right. Most filters have a safety valve that opens when they're clogged, and then the oil flows straight through with zero filtration. It's a protection mechanism, so the engine doesn't starve for oil, but the oil passing through is dirty. That's why changing oil without changing the filter is throwing money away. You put in clean oil, but it's circulating through a dirty filter full of crud. In no time, the fresh oil's contaminated again. And here's the tip worth gold. Always ask to see the old filter. Legit shops show you. Shops that don't want to show it raise red flags, because the old filter tells a story. If it's black, full of sludge, it means it was doing its job. If it's too clean, either it wasn't changed properly before, or there's an engine problem. The state of the oil filter says way more about engine health than the color of oil on the dipstick. Remember that? Comment below. Have you ever asked to see the oil filter at the shop, or do you just trust what the mechanic says? I want to know if you're team skeptic or team faith. Fifth question that causes a lot of drama. Is engine flush after an oil change necessary or just ups? Short answer, it depends. Long answer, I'll explain now. Engine flush, also called an oil flush, is a product you add to the old oil before changing it. It circulates for about 15 minutes, breaking up sludge and deposits, then you drain it all with the old oil. The idea is to clean the inside of the engine before putting in fresh oil. Sounds good, right? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. In well-maintained engines that always had regular maintenance, with oil changes on schedule since day one, a flush is unnecessary, it's overkill, the engine's already clean, there's no sludge buildup. Doing a flush, there is wasting money. Now, if you've bought a used car with no maintenance history, or if you yourself skipped a few change intervals, then a flush can be useful. It helps remove sludge that built up over time. But heads up, there's a catch. Really aggressive flushes can loosen too much sludge at once. And then that loose sludge can clog oil galleries, can clog the filter, can cause more problems than solutions. It's like deep cleaning a really dirty house all at once. You kick up so much dust, it's worse than before. So, what's the rule? If the engine has a good history, skip the flush. If the engine has a sketchy history, do the flush, but with quality product and a mechanic who knows what they're doing. It's not something to do every year or every month. It's a one-time thing when it's actually needed. And another thing, flushes don't work miracles. They won't resurrect a neglected engine. They just help improve the situation before starting proper maintenance. It's not medicine. It's an auxiliary procedure. Now here comes a controversy that always stirs things up. Recycled oil. Some folks swear shops put used oil back in your engine. Let's stick to the facts. Used motor oil, legally, cannot go back into an engine. That's an environmental crime and consumer fraud. Used oil gets collected by specialized companies, goes through re-refining or other processes, and gets used for industrial stuff. Boiler fuel, heavy machinery lube, asphalt, things like that. Fresh automotive oil sold legally in stores isn't made from burnt engine oil. It comes from petroleum refining, or, in the case of synthetics, specific chemical processes. Now, does fraud exist? Yeah, always does. Some people fill name brand bottles with cheap oil, sell it like it's premium. Some people buy sketchy oil to save money and put it in customers' cars. Does it happen? It happens. But it's not the norm. It's the exception. How do you protect yourself? First, buy oil from a trusted store with a receipt. Second, be suspicious of prices way below average. Nobody sells quality oil for half price. Third, if you take your car to a shop, ask to see the oil bottle before they put it in. Legit shops don't mind. And look, oil's too cheap to risk it. The difference between good oil and bad oil is like $50 more on the change. But the difference in engine damage can be $5,000 in repairs. Not worth the dumb savings. If you haven't hit that like button yet, do it now. This kind of info makes a real difference in your actual wallet. And if you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel. Seventh confusion. Dealership or independent shop? Who does it better? This question doesn't have a single answer, and I'll explain why. Dealerships follow the manufacturer's standard. They use the specified oil, follow the procedure to the letter, have proper equipment. Is that good? Yeah, does it guarantee quality? Most of the time, yes. But dealerships are expensive, and the service doesn't always justify the price. Sometimes you're paying $200 extra just for the name, not for the quality of work. Independent shops can be excellent, or they can be terrible. There are independent shops that are more technical and more careful than many authorized places. And there are shops that are disasters. The difference isn't in the name, it's in the procedure. How do you know if a shop's good? First thing, they explain what they're gonna do. Good shops don't tell you to just trust blindly. They show you the parts, explain the service, give you options. Second thing, they use quality parts. Doesn't always have to be OEM, but it has to be good. Third thing, they give a warranty on the work. People who do it right aren't afraid to stand behind it. So, the answer is, dealerships are a safe choice, but pricey. Independent shops can be better and cheaper, but you gotta choose carefully. Mechanics isn't religion, it's method. Whoever follows the right method does good work, regardless of the name on the sign. Now, I'm gonna flip the script and talk about something most people don't like hearing: mistakes the driver themselves makes. Because some folks complain about the shop, but screw up at home. Mistake number 1, changing oil way too early for no reason. Some people change every 2,000 miles because Grandpa did it that way back in the 80s. But today's engines aren't 40-year-old engines. Today's synthetic oil handles way more than old school mineral oil. Changing too early doesn't improve anything, just wastes money. Mistake number 2, using the wrong viscosity. It says right in the manual, use 5W30 10-W-40, whatever. But the guy thinks he knows better. Throws in 20W50 because someone said it's stronger, then the engine doesn't lubricate right because that oil wasn't designed for that setup. Each engine has a spec. Respect it. Mistake number 3, mixing incompatible oils. Mineral with synthetic, different brands, different Look, in an emergency, it'll work. But doing it routinely is asking for trouble. The additives in each oil can react with each other, can lose effectiveness. Best practice is always use the same type of oil. Mistake number 4, completely ignoring the manual and the engine's history. Your car has a manual. Use it, read it, follow it. The engineering team that designed that thing knows more than internet opinions. And here is a painful insight. Too much care also costs money. Some people get so paranoid they spend money on unnecessary stuff. Replace parts that are fine. Do procedures they don't need. The sweet spot is following what's recommended. No more, no less. Comment below which of these mistakes you've made. No shame, everyone screws up. The important thing is learning from it. Now, let's wrap up with the questions you should ask at the shop before authorizing any oil change service. Question number 1. What oil are you gonna use? Ask to see the bottle. Confirm it's the right spec for your engine. Question number 2. Is the filter getting changed too? If the answer is no, push back. Changing oil without changing the filter is bad practice. Question number 3. What's this change interval you're telling me based on? If they say it's their experience, ask to see the car's manual. Question number 4. Are you going to show me the old oil and old filter? Legit shops show you shops that won't be suspicious. Question number 5. Is there a warranty on this service? How many days? How many miles? If there's no warranty, that's already a red flag. These 5 simple questions separate legit shops from sketchy ones. It's not rude to ask. It's your right. You're paying for the service. You gotta know what's being done. Oil changes aren't a mystery, aren't an automatic scam, aren't rocket science. It's basic maintenance that works well when it's done right. Information prevents losses. Understanding prevents fear. Knowing what to ask prevents mistakes. If you made it this far, hit that like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and comment below. What's the simple car question you've always had and nobody ever explained properly? I read all the comments and might make a video answering it. And look, if this video helped you understand something that was confusing, share it with that friend who's always complaining about getting ripped off at the shop. Shared knowledge is multiplied knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. And remember, a well-maintained car is a car that lasts, but proper maintenance, not excessive maintenance. Peace, ouchie.